Hi guys, it's Didi here, and today's video is about my October favorites. My last favorites video was done back in July and you left me a feedback that you really enjoyed those. I personally enjoy doing favorites video myself a lot. However, over the last 2 months I've been very busy working on different projects and I did not have much time to listen to podcasts, to read books, or to even go to galleries or find interesting designs. So I did not have anything to share with you guys, but now in October I have 4 exciting things I would like to share. The first one is a book. The book is by Eckhart Tolle and it's called The Power of Now, and it's a very popular book. I'm sure most of you have heard of it. And this is a book over the last month I've read and listened to many times, not only once. And the reason for that is I had sort of a period of insomnia. I couldn't sleep well. Usually I prefer reading than listening to books, but because it was during the night, I started listening to the book, and he has a very nice and soft voice, speaking very slowly. And sometimes I would just throughout the night would listen to 1 to 2 hours of the book, and then next day I would just take and read it as well. So I do a mixture. I read it and then I listen to it. And why I'm saying that this is not a book that you read once. You really need to get deep into the ideas that he shares with us. Eckhart Tolle has been voted one of within the first 10 spiritual teachers of our times. He was born and raised in Germany, then he studied in the University of London and Cambridge, and he suffered with lots of anxieties and even suicidal thoughts within his 20s. So when he was 29 years of age, one night he had a very, very strong suicidal thoughts. And at that night, he just said to himself, I cannot live with myself anymore. And the minute he said to himself that, he just realized, okay, if I cannot live with myself, then myself is something different than I am. So I'm not my thoughts, there is something beyond that. And next day he woke up and he was completely transformed. It sounds like a story from, fairy tales. People just don't get transformed overnight. But that's his story, that's what he shares. For the next 2 years, he's been living on benches, in a state of bliss. He's been watching people and birds, and he was living in the moment, in the present, in the now, and he was very happy. After that, he started counseling, he started working with small groups, with individuals, and then he wrote the book. He became very, very popular. First, it was published in Canada, then in the US, and he's one of the favorite spiritual gurus of Oprah Winfrey as well. Who is this book for first? So this book is if you feel yourself that you suffer from anxieties, or you find yourself complaining too much, or you think that in order for you to be happy and fulfilled, you need external things, or if you're stressed constantly and you cannot switch off your mind, then this book is for you. If you don't have any experience with meditation or with spiritual literature, it can be a bit heavy for you. It's not spiritual in the sense that being very, very hard read. It's easy to read and to understand, and sometimes he even repeats himself many times throughout the book, but some of these ideas can be very foreign to you if you've never had any experience with that. For me, most of these ideas I've already heard of or practiced myself. This year I went to Vipassana meditation for 10 days. I can see similarities between what Eckhart Tolle talks about and the practicing of Vipassana meditation. The idea is that we're not our past, we're not our future. The only moment that matters is the moment of now. We are not our mind. Yes, thinking and thoughts brought lots of the achievements in our current world, but there is something beyond our thoughts. There is the sense of beingness, and all creative people are able to tap into this beingness and to go beyond their thoughts. So it teaches you how to be. It's not that practical in the sense of giving lots of exercises, but it gives you the ideas and it teaches you how to learn to be more observant of your thoughts, of how you feel, and then also how to learn to be more present in the current moment. For me, it's important because I've been trying to do that throughout the years with different various success, and at this particular moment it really helps me deal with my anxieties when I have lots to do, and also to remind me that there is an intelligence beyond our intellect. Okay, so I recommend the book, guys. It's really beautiful, and as I said, you need to read it probably more than once, but have fun with it as well. My second favorite is a movie, and the movie is called Cafe Society by Woody Allen.
I'm expecting a call from Ginger Rogers. She's not happy with her representation, so who knows?
Phil, it's Rose.
Rose?
Your sister. My son. He's coming to Hollywood. The man eats with Fred Astaire and Gary Cooper.
I'm impressed.
Now I'm a Woody Allen fan for many, many years. Ever since maybe about 20 years ago, I watched a cinema marathon of most of the movies of Woody Allen over like 3 or 4 days. And I absolutely loved him. He's one of the great filmmakers at our times. He's 8 years old now and he's still brilliant in his art. Cafe Society came probably about 2 months ago with very mixture of reviews. Some people would say it wasn't that good at all, other people would comment that it was great. My friends, many of them would say that did not like it. I personally really liked the movie. The movie is set in the 1930s in Hollywood, very glamorous, lavish, seductive period when, you know, beautiful men and women are going out drinking. The whole story is about the main character, Jesse Eisenberg, who is Jewish in New York, living in a cramped apartment with his parents, and then he goes and visits his famous uncle in Hollywood, who is a producer, and he falls in love, and then the story unfolds. He goes back to New York, establishing this nightclub. So visually, the movie is brilliantly done. I absolutely love the costumes, the scenes, and just to tap into this reality, you can really feel that you are part of it. I really like the actors as well. I think that they play brilliantly. Steve Carell plays such a good role there as well, and Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen as well. So I recommend the movie. Took me back to these times and I absolutely enjoyed it. My next favorite is again a book, and it's a book for kids. I actually have 3 of them, but my favorite is called Unstoppable Me, and it's by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer is a spiritual teacher, a philosopher. He's been working for years in the personal growth. He unfortunately passed away last year in August. He was one of the spiritual teachers within the top 10 for many, many years. He changed the life of millions of people. And I know of him for a very long time, being a personal development junkie. But I didn't know he had a book for kids. And recently in Facebook, someone who I follow, Kimra, she posted that her kids are reading this book. So I immediately ordered them to my friends in the US and I got them, and they're absolutely beautiful. So Wayne Dyer talks about how we can change our life with positive thoughts, how we can be responsible for our actions, and he worked with a lady, Christina Tracy, who writes really well, to put his ideas into books for kids. My favorite by far is the Unstoppable Me, just because I think it's more appropriate for Mika's age as well, because the rest, like Incredible You, is still good, but no excuses. It seems that they're more for a little bit older kids. All of them are brilliant though. And the way it's organized, I'm going to show you guys, but the way it's organized, it has 10 themes. These are adaptations of his books for adults. And the 10 ways to soar through life. You are great no matter what. Persistence pays off. Welcome the unknown. You have a choice. So he teaches kids, first of all, to have positive words for themselves when they express themselves. But second, to grow without limits, knowing that they don't have to fit in something that other people or society impose on them. He teaches them to listen to their little voice, that they have so much more touch into it when they're little, and everything changes when we grow up and we have everyone imposing their own beliefs on us. So I'm gonna just show you, you're great no matter what. I'm gonna show you how it sounds, and I'm gonna read you one. So for example, just an example, you have a choice. Sometimes I think too much about what others do and say. I feel so small around them, they must know the right way. But then I stop and listen to that little inside voice, the one that whispers in my heart, you always have a choice. So I pause and I think, what's the best way for me? Only I know who and what I want to be. So, you know, and they show friend's way, my sister's way, parents' way, teacher's way, coach's way, my way. And it's brilliant, brilliant book for little kids. So I'm super glad that I found out about that. And go and get it if you have kids. My next favorite is a phrase to ponder about, to think for, to reflect upon. And the phrase came after I watched the interview with Tim Ferriss and Chase Jarvis on Creative Life. And that was probably about 4 months ago, but it took me some time to think through this phrase again and again. And the phrase was what it would look like if it were easy. And Tim Ferriss shared with Chase Jarvis in the podcast that he often would ask himself this question before he undertakes a new project, or even when he works on his podcast, for example, so that he makes sure that he doesn't make things more difficult than they are. And I remember when I heard that, I was like, yeah, it was exactly the time when I had lots of conversations with friends of mine, questioning the belief that everything that we do should be hard. Sometimes we have this belief in our lives that if good job needs to be done, it needs to be hard to get there. And if it's not hard, then potentially we're not doing a good job. And I started questioning some of these beliefs just to play with them and to see in what way they can impact my life. And when he said that, I sort of related to it, and they said, okay, maybe we can do things effortlessly. Maybe not everything needs so much time and effort to do it, and we can still have great results. Recently I went to a workshop, and the guy who was leading the workshop, who is a fan of Tim Ferriss as well, he mentioned again the same phrase. He said that for himself he's doing revision of his projects, and for me October is the month when everything I do, I just run it through this phrase. If it were easy, what it would look like. Sometimes we decide not to take risks, we decide not to work on new projects because we try first time, second time, third time, we find that it's really hard and then we stop. But if it wasn't hard, if we just do it with the 20-80 in our mind, minimum effort for the greater result, if we approach it with the more pleasurable and fun side, maybe it should not be hard at all. So I don't have answers for you guys. This is a phrase that I choose to think through and reflect upon my whole month, and I invite you to do the same if it works for you, and you never know what sort of answers you can come up with. So we may not need to make things harder than they are. So these are my favorites for October. Maybe I can add to that a city. My favorite city for October is Montreal, just because I went there and visited it after 6 years. My last time was 6 years ago, and I was super lucky with the weather. They had heat wave. It was about 25 degrees Celsius, and it was very, very pleasant. I did not have much time to explore because I went for 4 days, and 2 of them I had the workshop, and I was super busy during the workshop, but I was out there all the time in my spare days. I did a vlog, so you can watch it here, guys, if you're interested. And it was a really, really nice place to visit. They have very nice restaurants and small streets and super tasty food. It's very different than the vibes that Toronto has. And, you know, I refreshed my French as well, just for a little bit. So these are my favorites. I hope you're all well, guys. I'm looking forward to see your comments. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment whether you want me to do more favorite videos and what are the sort of things you want me to comment on or to look into for you guys, because I'm here for you. I really enjoy this communication. I really enjoy making videos, and if I can help you in some way, I'm here to do that. So leave me a comment, subscribe for my channel, and I'm so looking forward to see you next Tuesday. Bye!